Well, I did this because there was such a great need. And our sons, I mean, they went to war. He gave it all. I'm going to give it all to reach out to these other parents, these other brothers and sisters. I said, you know, we got to start something here and they do some healing for us. And that's how I came up with the Michael Strange Foundation.
I brought my family because we needed help to heal those of us who are left behind.
It's hard, and you don't really know what you want. I mean, I don't really want to talk to anybody on the phone. You don't know what you're supposed to do or how. There's no book, there's no, roadmap to tell you what the next step's going to be.
I didn't really think I had an issue because I was a stepdad. I thought I was here to help my wife and my stepdaughter.
You can get stuck in that grief because there's a belief for some people that if I'm happy, if I become happy,
For service. Over the years, the Union League in Philadelphia, along with the American Legion Post, has been placing a lot of the Gold Star Mother's plaques, along with soldiers' crosses at different air bases. The Marine Museum ended up with one. The National Museum of the Army, which we're trying to open at Fort Belvoir, will be receiving one. And I guess I played such a part in getting this that this year at my Memorial Day party, the Gold Star Mothers. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank everybody for travel. And we still have, like I said, quite a few parents coming and a few visitors during traffic up there on 95. And, it's great seeing everybody, great meeting the new moms, the dads, the Gold Star parents that came in, my friend Jim and his wife from Philadelphia. And we're going to all get to know each other, introduce each other. And, the 5 stages of grief is, first one is denial, and it seems like with the grief we just keep on. Sometimes for me it's 7 years, and I still look at the door, I still look at the phone, I'm like, is this real, and second stage of grief is anger, and I still get mad, like why my son, and some other things I go through with the anger, and third one, I still ask God why, why Michael, why not me? And, the fourth one we all go through all these 5 stages of grief is depression. I remember going to the front door, ready to go out to the casino, go deal, get to the front door, probably about 4 or 5 months later, I'd be like, nah. And that other part, like you look outside and people are going to work, people are doing things, and you go, what's still going on? My son died. And my wife come home from work, and I'd be sitting there in my uniform, my blackjack deal. She's like, what's going on? I said, I couldn't get out the door. It was gripping me up. And the 5th stage is the acceptance. Unlike any 5 stages of grief, it just keeps coming, and it's not every day. It's been 7 years, but it's the first thing you think of every morning, and go home with, put one foot in front of the other, and then you have the other kids, you worry about them, and how it changed our other children, how it changed our whole lives. Since August 6, 2011, how it changed our lives. And this next holiday is really probably the worst holiday of them all for me. Thanksgiving, I have Michael on my phone right here. And, yo Dad, I love you. See you down there at Maggie's for Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving for us was Center City, Philadelphia. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We got a little pin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This pen represents our foundation. It's a broken heart and it has a Band-Aid on it. And the Band-Aid is us. We're trying to help you mend or give you a little piece of your heart back by helping.
And I can't thank you enough for what you said earlier, and tell the group or share a little bit
Oh, you will.
what you learned and how you feel.
Thank you. She's only coached 13 people, so out of 18. Oh, I have to turn around, okay.
Millie put all the bags together. Can't thank Millie enough. You guys want to say a few? My main man.
You know, it's a real gift that we can find a safe place to come together. So we don't get these places very often. And I was feeling really worn out. I feel a lot better leaving today. I feel like it's too quick. I wish I could have to spend more time with all of you, but it's just a great place to launch forward from. And I'm so thankful to you guys. Thank you a million times over. And it's one of the things I liked about this weekend was it was just simple. You know, it wasn't like, it was just a very simple time of us all coming together and connecting. It was really, everything was very organic in how it all comes together. And I don't know if you understand like what I mean by that, but it's like sometimes you go to Gold Star events and they're just so programmed, or they're so this and so that, that I don't get that connection that I need. And I got that coming to this, and I needed that so desperately. And what the docs shared.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to Charlie and Mary. I think this is probably the first weekend. We've been to lots of different things over the years, but I think this is the first weekend that I felt like it made sense, and I felt a part. So I just really appreciate you guys. I don't know how you do this. You guys are really strong, so thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. We got a little pin for you. Tell the group.
Cindy.
Back in. Getting everybody from. What was in that coffee?
I'm not going to work you up.
That's what I'm with. Imagine about a drink. Want to say a few words?
I want to thank everybody. Like they said, I've been to Gold Star events. They're big events focused on sometimes that I just feel like I'm standing in the shadows. And this weekend, I felt like I was accepted. And I want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay, this is my second time coming, and I can tell you that meeting people, it takes a few months for everything you took away this weekend to really sink in. 'Cause. 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 'C but I walked away last time with a very deeper understanding. That was thanks to Dr. John Orey. He really taught me a lot about grief, and I had gone to the vet center for a year for counseling, and I felt like I was beating my head on the wall. And I came to the first time to the weekend in Maryland, and I learned more that weekend than I did a whole year at the vet center. And I'm sure I'm taking away a lot this weekend too, and it's going to take a little while to sink in, I'm sure. But thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Arthur in the back, Tony hiding in the corner, Philly Senior. Ellen coming down to help, Frank and Ellen over there. Can't thank you enough for everybody's support, all you guys who, can't thank you enough. From Texas, Governor Barry's run, Margie, come on down.
Because the coffee kicked in.
So I want everybody to hit Margie up. She makes these most beautiful butterflies with your sons and daughters' pictures in there, and the artwork is it's amazing. It's like Norman Rockwell, I'd say. That's how badass it is. Would he say something like that? Ross, Norman, I think so.
I just have to go right now. Thank you all so much. I mean, my mind's like going crazy because everybody that said everything, same here. I think I said yesterday when I first reached out to you. I'm not sure. I don't remember what I said. My memory sucks. But Michael and Kimmy died 2 months apart, and it wasn't too long after that whenever you started the foundation. I was trying to do so. What was I supposed to do? I was trying to find out what I was supposed to do. So I reached out to Charlie and asked, how do you start a foundation? I didn't start one. I was looking to do something. But that's how we met. And I've been trying to come to one of these for years, and this is not to put you down at all, it's to give you kudos, because when it is a struggle when your child dies from suicide on active duty. Not that it's not a struggle when they're home and not in service anymore, but there's so much focus on the 22 a day, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. The 22 veterans a day, but no one talks about the active duty suicides, which is what my mission became, because the focus on the veterans is real, it's awesome, it's on bettering themselves and helping out each other. But the thing about the active duty is there's so many, what you just said about wearing a mask. I mean, it ranks right up there with the training accidents. It's like they died on active duty, but, there's always the but, it was suicide. Nobody wants to talk about suicide. The stigma is real no matter what you do. In fact, I'm up against one that just took me to my knees, like I think 2 weeks ago, if you don't mind if I mention. Have you ever heard of Bridges for the Fallen? Mm-hmm. Okay, last December, I was asked to be one of the families. Kim is to be the first female PTSD bridge. So in the spring, I reached out to my representative and went back and forth. What do I need to do? No problem. But it won't be done until January 2019. So last month, I reached out to my representative again, and mind you, I don't talk to them, I talk to the assistant. I said, I would just like to come in and meet him. You know, is there anything I need to do, anything else I need to do besides let you know this needs to be done? And so the assistant goes, oh, you come in, and the representative would love to meet you. And there's nothing else you need to be done. In November, they're going to write up the bill and put it in front of Texas Congress in January. Cool. So I walk in to meet my representative, and he's like, got good news and bad news. And I was like, here we go. because it's happened for 7 years. And I sat down, and the good news was he has a bill going through, which is awesome, to get HBOTs, hyperbaric chamber, for veterans who are with PTSD and TBI. He has a bill that he wants to put through Congress with the Veterans Advocacy Group, and he wants me to be a part of that, and he would put Kim's name on it and everything. That's great. And when I came to the bridge, it was like probably not going to happen. And that was like so out of left field. I was like back to when the soldiers came to my door, because the group that puts through the advocacy for the HBOTs do not want somebody with PTSD to have a bridge, and they will fight me to this, but I know what I heard, and they also said it's because she's a female. So the stigma is forever. When I became a Gold Star Mom, I was finding out Gold Star Moms didn't even want me to be called a Gold Star Mom because of suicide. I mean, that's why I have my advocacy. I might be tearful right now, but I'm not going to let anybody. I asked my representative, I cannot believe, is my state embarrassed of my daughter? I mean, seriously? So, coming down back to this, I feel so welcome here, and the fact that y'all finally asked me, even though it's suicide, is a kudos to you, because it also shows the change of thinking in the country, and I'm hoping I might have had something to do with that. So I'm very, very happy to be here, and I better come back.
Man, Mark, I remember that when we first started, I think I said, I don't know, nothing, I never had a foundation, I never knew nothing about a foundation, I knew talking to others, and she said her daughter died of suicide. I said, well, other parents, Gold Star parents, lost theirs killed in action, and then
Same thing my representative's telling me.
as we were going, she actually lost her daughter in combat, really, because they didn't come back, they didn't go into the military thinking about suicide, but what they see over in Iraq, Afghanistan for our freedoms, and then come back to 22 a day, they actually, that's what I tell them. You lost your son and daughter over there, and then they came back and committed suicide. For me, I only see it in movies or something like that, you know what I mean? But I know.
But she never even came back because she re-enlisted. I mean, she never came back.
From seeing so many men and women from Philadelphia that come up and they all of a sudden they're just like looking right through me, or that they see the shirt with all this, and they just stand there and they talk about it just like Patrick left, you know what I mean? And I don't, you know. So we do welcome the suicide parents.
Well, she was hit by she survived 2 IEDs. This is what I say. She survived 2 IEDs, re-enlisted, and lost the war within. And she came home on an angel flight, just like somebody KIA, but because of the stigma, not only her death, but her family is relegated to something less.
Right, which is bullshit. It's, you know what I mean? She didn't join thinking about that, and then when you come back from war, you know, we got you sick, baby.
And I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, and thank you all. I love you all. Your stories are moving and amazing.
And hit her up for the butterfly on Facebook.
It's hard to deal with. But I'm glad we were here, and I want to thank you guys. And Dr. Sean, he helps. I have to just do what he says. That's the biggest problem now, so maybe someday I'll
Got to see that?
For you.
I want to be the conductor.
I mean, you're in the brother. He wants to blow the whistle.
Oh yeah, I want to be the engineer. I'm a thinker.
That's the one you're getting.
He's a folder.
I used to be an honor student.
Everybody here heard everybody's story, everybody's grief yesterday. I think, in turn, everybody else heard a story that you're not alone.
And I think I mentioned it, people distance themselves from you, and I'm not going to go out of my way for them either. We have a group here that we can call the focus group. Someone can contact somebody, we'll be talking about that. But the thing of it is, you know that there's people just like you. Just like you.
Yeah, because where we live, there aren't. Well, there is, I guess, 45 minutes away, there is a Gold Star family. We've met them.
Ocean City.
Yeah, but I can't know their name, Stevenson. Oh, yeah, they live about 45 minutes from us, but there aren't anything, there's nothing around us, like, because we moved to the sticks, so we're kind of,
And Dr. Sean, the guy, said to me one time, I forget where I was at, he goes, you know, you have an accent, you from New Jersey.
Oh, what an insult. Did he tax you for saying that?
No, there's only one person. How do you say y'all when there's only one?
Oh, well. You know.
I'm at a room full of Pennsylvania.
Oh, you rode back down South Carolina.
Really?
You never heard of it.
They never said it. I was young.
I grew up pretty north.
Oh,
It's a whole different diet.
Well, that could be hours away, depending on how you do it.
Especially where we live.
As you guys probably figured out, I'm not real good at talking. But this is only the second time we've ever really been to a Gold Star event. So thanks to Charlie reaching out. I remember the first time we found out about what the organization was about, we got an email or something. And I said, well, what if they're like these weird cult people? I'm really hesitant if I don't know where people come from and stuff. And so then we were going somewhere one night to dinner or something, and Charlie called, and I have this new car, so he was on the speakerphone in the car. He had this real strong accent, and it just like, I'm like, oh, okay, he's okay. And he told us about the reason and why he wanted us to come, and we went, and we were just like still really so much in shock after, because it wasn't too long after Dominic died, and so anyway, when the first workshop was really good, it really changed my life, my outlook on everything, because I didn't talk about it. I tend to just try to put on this sort of mask, and I do that even now in our community and stuff. But I learned that I could talk about it, and that was the first workshop. And when we came to this one, as you can see, it's still raw for me. It's been 9 years since Chris died, and 2 years since Dominic died, and it still feels like they were just in our house yesterday. I still hear, once in a while, I'll be home alone and I'll hear them say, Mom, Mom, Mom. Because that's what used to always, when we used to get, see, we go, gosh, every 5 seconds, that's all they say is Mom. Because we have 4 children, and really that's what it was. But now I would just kill to hear them say Mom. And so those are the hard parts, but just got to be thankful for this experience and the connections of the people that we have. And we're the only ones here from South Carolina, but really, if anybody wants to come to a beautiful place, our house is open. We have 3 empty bedrooms, and And we would love to have company, so if anybody is ever down there, call us, email us. Our house is open to everyone, so.
And they mean it.
Yeah, we do mean it. We do
We
mean it.
said it. I just want to thank everybody in here for sharing your sons and daughters with us. It's, all of us need some healing. It's an ongoing progress. Thanks to these two lovely people here for an organization they have formed, the Michael Strange Foundation, Charlie and Mary, and your crew of support team here. They all do a wonderful job. And personally, I think all your children are heroes. Regardless of what happened, how it happened, to me, something traumatic happened to get them to that point. And that being said, we love you all.
Love you.
Walk through it.
Yeah, let's give a special shout out to Billy, John Kite, Bobby Hilgrim, Arthur. We met last month up in Lenox, Massachusetts with some other families from Extortion 17, and I can't thank them enough for their generosity. They gave us a very nice big check to help us with the weekend. Can't thank you enough. Anonymous.
Thank you so much.
Bless you. Thank you. What is it? Mahalo. I was in Hawaii for 15 days with Michael.
Mahalo is syrup. Mahalo is thank you.
Don't get it mixed up. Mahalo. And what's family?
Ohana.
Ohana. I'm sorry.
And then we met all their sons and their daughters, and I can't thank you enough for coming in and coming back again all the way. They left Thursday to get here, and thank you. Say a few words.
I'm sure you all know about Moses.
You dropped the 10 Commandments.
Very good. He threw it down.
You threw him.
Moses told the Lord that he cannot speak. He's not eloquent. So the Lord God sent his brother Aaron to be his spokesperson. So this is my Aaronette.
I knew that was coming. Well, thank you for a great weekend. I thank God for so many things, and it's opportunities such as these that we get to share our story and hear others. People say, "Oh, I'm not a public speaker." Well, I don't think many of us have had public speaking 101, right? And people say, if I only remember to use that app, you know, it helps. And like this weekend, we were given tools. And one that I just stand out in my heart is that the same part of your brain that harbors anger, fear, bitterness, it takes over the love, the affection, the care, you know, just, it makes sense. Because after we got the word, some of you have heard this. Nani called her parents, it was just before midnight, and that's our daughter-in-law that's married to Craig. And they wouldn't answer their phone for some reason, so she called us. And I had waken up just about 10 minutes prior to the call, couldn't sleep, so I went downstairs. So he answered the phone, and then he brought the phone down to me. And she was inaudible, I couldn't understand what she was saying. But I thanked her for loving our son and for giving him the life. Because he dated many girls. Like, and you heard, he was going to marry them all if he could. But Nani was the one that stood out. And we know that God sent her into our lives. I just have so much to say to you. I wish I could say it all, but when I met Bob,
He was, and we married, he was on my pedestal. He was the love of my life. And if we could have had more kids, had the doctor said, I said, that's it, 5 is enough for you. When we came to know the Lord, God showed me Bob was not Jesus. He wasn't the perfect man that I thought he was. Love is blind sometimes, like sometimes we overlook our children. You know, unconditional. We all know where that goes. And God had to take Bob off that pedestal and put himself there. Thank you. And it's not a pedestal, it's a throne where he belongs. And Bob always would say, I don't mind being second fiddle to Jesus. No, that's not a bad place to be. But God bless you all, and I hope that by hearing other people's stories, that our faith has gotten us through this. And our children, sometimes they hurt more than we think they do because they won't speak it. And being together, like we thought about maybe taking them together on a family vacation, and God opened the doors to Massachusetts. And they invited our family, and they bring the kids, bring the grandkids. And it was quite an experience of going home on the same plane. We love you. We'll be thinking of you. We have opened our home to you. We plan on doing some things are right. Lord willing. Yes, but you're all will always be welcome.
Thanks for having my 6 yesterday. My 6. Thank you for having my 6 yesterday.
Oh. Did you tell anybody about that? See, it's incredible.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, let me share what happened to you, because we were like one of the last ones in, right?
I think so.
Somebody forgot that we weren't supposed to bring bags. And Margie had her U.S. Army bag, and a bunch of her, all kinds of goodies in it. And so they weren't going to let her in. So she says, well, what I'm going to do is that we can't leave it in a car. We don't have a car. So in our Ziploc gallon bag, we started stuffing things. But like, I thank God that I was there for you.
I know.
It's having people's backs or spines, as they say.
Exactly what this is about.
Yes. We look forward to seeing you again, and we're going to be keeping you in prayer that God helps you through this. He's powerful. He doesn't want you to stay in this phase very long. You know, we got to celebrate the people that they are, that we help them to become, and their community, their teammates. You know, they're all important. And here's another thing. This morning I was listening to Charles Stanley. He's one of my favorite preachers on television. And his message was forgiving. Sometimes when people don't know what to say, they're afraid to come visit because for whatever emotional phase we're in, but to learn to forgive them. For the people that have no knowledge of what we're going through, their ignorance or undereducated, well, maybe we can become that person to make them aware. We still have military over there. You know, we still have guys coming home and gals coming home that are suffering from a war within. Okay.
Deep breath. Deep breath.
Thanks. Pour some water.
Where's the water? You're not getting away that easy, Bobby.
It works, doesn't it?
His eyes are going to leak.
One more point. You know the tools we were given this weekend? Use them. Just like a carpenter. If he doesn't use them, he can't create anything. You know, we don't get beyond the project.
Yeah, so if you want to travel and have a nice place to live or to spend, Steve and Donna open their house to you.
We'll leave the light off.
The other side, on the East Coast, to the middle of the Pacific, our home will be open. It's we're working on a project. We live in a sticks. We live in sticks. We also live in the sticks, 1,300 feet above sea level. It's an agricultural zone, so it's 2 acres. So we raise our cattle. So we have free range beef. That's where Craig grew up. That's where our 5 children grew up. And his desire was when he retired, he wanted to come home and live on the property. Because of our size of our lot, we can build another structure. So he was planning on doing that. He has 3 children. In fact, he had 2 at the time. She was pregnant, and she gave birth on the same day we had our briefing in the General Code. But like I mentioned earlier, the Lord has a plan for all of us. And He cannot reveal that plan to us until we make the commitment to Him. And once you do that, you allow His grace, His comfort, His peace to enter your heart. Overflowing. Was it Psalm 23? The heart overflows. When we're in the world, I shared this with Bob last time, our heart is like a cup. It's half filled, or half empty. But you add things into that cup, and it gets polluted, it gets stagnant. When you become born again, Ezekiel 36 says He takes out that heart of stone and He put a heart of compassion in you, heart transplant. Then I will pour my Spirit in you, in your heart, and overflowing.
Madison, the city of brotherly love.
Didn't have to drag you completely.
I met Jim through a guy named Billy Littner that was there when our sons died. He was stationed right here, and then Michael and the crew was right behind him, and he served many missions, and he was good friends with Jim in firefighting, and Billy reached out to me and gave me Jim's number and Lynn's number, and that's how we met, and we had a few cheesesteaks together. And I came down to visit. We hung out for the day, Philly style.
And, yeah, I want to thank everybody also. We have a long way to go. But we'll get there.
Yeah, this experience has been wonderful. Listening to everybody's stories has really helped me. I'm really thankful. I didn't think I needed help, but I guess I do.
We all go.
Thank you.
The cool thing about what you just said, I didn't think I needed help, but I now realize I do. You're going to experience an acceleration, an exponential acceleration in healing because you've acknowledged that thing that you prior to this didn't acknowledge it, maybe rejected it. So that's actually huge. It's
Yeah,
a
everybody
really
kept saying,
good
talk
thing.
to somebody, talk to somebody. I don't need to talk to anybody.
Right, right.
But apparently I do.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, I did this because there was such a great need. And our sons, I mean, they went to war. He gave it all. I'm going to give it all to reach out to these other parents, these other brothers and sisters. I said, you know, we got to start something here. And they do some healing for us. And that's how I came up with the Michael Strange Foundation.